Not on yet, bitches.
Yeah,
here we go.
Happy New Year!
Hey, Happy New Year. Hey, Jamie's on.
Jamie's there. Sausage, I mean.
He's always on. How's everyone going?
I'm fucking tired. And I've had enough of life. And it's just all good, mate. I'm great.
I'm still sore. Nothing changed in the last 2 weeks then. I'm fucking still sore as well. I'm in about the same boat as Corin.
So there we go. 16 on. 25. Fuck, she's jumping up now. All right. So, good evening, everybody. Welcome,
G'day, Daniel. G'day, John. Hello, Mr. Kittle.
I love it how someone can look at me half-dressed, you with a fucking jumper and a cap on in the house, and the jumper's on the cap, and Mert's just wearing a Knifemaking Down Under hoodie and nothing else. Anthony Kittle comes on and says, "Hi, wise men." Mate, we've got a following. You know you've made it when you can just do your shit and they think you're fucking good. Oh, well, they know we're good. It's all good.
That's right.
Yeah, something like that.
Why do I have this hoodie on my head, you ask? I hear you ask over and over, time and time again.
No pants here, Michael Crispin.
I got a mail call from Flinders Rangers Knives.
There you go.
Hoodie. I'm wearing pants.
So if you're listening to this, mate. Oh, fuck. What happened to me?
See you, mate.
Oh.
He just wanted to squip. Oh, no, here we go.
That's cold. No, that's cold.
Introducing our guest for tonight, we've got Cole Barrett.
Only he doesn't have a camera.
He doesn't have a camera.
Or apparently any audio.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay.
You don't have a camera?
I'm having some camera issues.
It's all right, mate. I've seen you before.
If you're using web browser, you've got to go through Chrome. Most likely.
All right. I'll try Chrome.
Try that. Yeah. See you later. Come back. And then we got Mert and
I'm back.
Kaya keeping
and
guard.
Kaya's fucking barking his head off outside. He wants to come in the shed.
You should let him in your shed. You're just being mean.
All right.
If it's
I'm gonna let him in.
If it's a typical dog, it's gonna want to
you're gonna get a guest in the. Come on.
It's gonna want to go out.
No, he doesn't want to come in now. He's like, usually you don't let me in. What's the deal with this? Oh, fucking dickhead. No, he doesn't want to come in.
All right.
He just wanted to get you up. He just wanted to get you up. I appreciate that, the dog.
Very good.
All right, where are we at? So, right, we have our usual plan. Keith, Kev, you got the show plan there?
No, I've got it here somewhere.
So I've got an idea what we're going to do.
We're keeping track with
we have a special guest. We have Mr. Cole Barrett.
The shittiest produced podcast in Australia, if not the world, holding that title. And in conversation with you two, we discovered something about the podcast, didn't we?
Yes, we did. It's been just over a year since we launched our podcast. We made it through one whole fucking year, gentlemen.
I can tell you right now, it does not feel like, to me anyway, it does not feel like 1 year.
No.
For the listeners, it might feel like 10 or 15.
That moment at Blade Show when we said, let's do a podcast and piss this fucker off to Mareko. And Mareko was like, fuck you, Kev. Fuck you. We're going to do it. Fuck you. Fuck you. And here we are a year later. That's fairly significant.
It is actually. It's been pretty good. It's been fun. And the whole point about the whole thing was just to have a bit of fun. And I guess in this particular part of the year, 2020, I think we've sort of put a little bit of a different track, different spin on how things are, provide people with a little bit of lighthearted entertainment to break up the monotony. Matt, it feels like 10 years when I've been having you on board for about fucking 8 months.
Yeah. Mike Baz says it feels like 10. Good on you, Mike. Nice. Right. So
10 months,
we have
bitches.
what's been happening on. We've got Cole here. Cole, for those that don't know, let's do a bit of a quick, short introduction. Cole works for Gamaco. Cole, when did you start with Gamaco?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah,
Yes, Cole, we can hear you fine.
Right.
Yeah,
You all
great.
sound like robots to me.
Really?
Awesome.
I
Yeah.
am the robot.
I'm sure that's a problem on my end. I started
Thank
working
you,
for
your leader.
Gamaco on the 13th of September 2000.
Well, we overloaded the system and Cole has left the building.
Cole's left the building and my camera's no longer working.
Do you guys remember when the NBN was coming out and we were going to get fiber to the house? And here we fucking are, right? 10 years later, they fucked it completely. You know, can I just talk about infrastructure for a minute, right? Back in the 1800s, this country went, fuck it, let's build a rail link to Dorrigo. Nobody wants to go to fucking Dorrigo, but they built that fucker anyway, right? Here we are, 150 fucking years later, the new rail link is the NBN, and I don't have, well, I've got internet, but fucking Kev, look at that, fuck, gone again. Fucking Cole, come back. Where are you? Jesus Christ almighty. I'm sorry for the blasphemy, Americans. I'm sorry about that. We don't talk like that normally in Australia. Anyway, never mind. I'm fucking over it.
We're in
Fucking
the 21st century, and I've tethered my bloody Wi-Fi to my phone hotspot because I get better internet through my phone than I do through our home internet.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Matt's just lapping it up down in his workshop where everything happens. Anyway, we were just introducing Cole Barrett, who's a Gamaco employee, and Cole has disappeared, but that's okay. Most people that are listening will know Cole from the group buys and the other pages that Gamaco put up, and for his inclusions into conversations regarding steel, where he is extremely biased and will tell you that
3 CPM,
CPM something or other stainless is the one and only steel that you should buy. And we'll talk to Cole about that a little bit more and get his view on the best carbon steel to use. He could be coming back right now.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of action at the station. There, and he's
There he is.
there. He is. Happy days. That's better. We can see it.
It's a bit fragmented.
No, it's still better than it was. So, Cole, when did you start with Gamaco? You got halfway through your sentence.
September 13th, 2018.
There you go.
2 years almost.
Right, nearly 2 years,
Almost
mate.
2 years.
Almost 2 years. Jesus, there you go. Yeah. Well, there's not going to be a party and cake. You know that, don't you?
Yeah,
I mean,
COVID.
I've been there 20 years and nothing's ever happened. So.
It seems like you only get a party at Gamaco when you leave.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. We celebrate the good things.
And
Yeah.
most of the time, from what I understand, they occur when you've gone. Everyone else has the party.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not, well, sometimes. It has, but yeah, that's not often. Yeah, that's, Gamaco is one of those places. I started there myself and this isn't about me, but I started there on the 2nd of February, 1999. So I think I would have got less for murder, but it's all good.
Some Facebook user was saying that's their birthday, the September the 13th.
Oh, well,
Whose birthday?
I am very fond of 3V.
You are.
No joke.
Yes. We intend to hear
Here we
all
go.
about that, Dave. So
That's a pretty
look, if you've rung, oh yeah, here we go. Show us what you got.
No, I think he's going to cycle through.
Oh, it changed colour.
I've seen that one. That's got those nice bolts holding it together, and I don't even know what they're called. What are they called?
Well, they're pivot barrels for folding knives, but they work pretty good as handle fasteners. But we've got some better ones now. We've got Gulso bolts.
Oh yeah, that's
Gulso bolts.
He knows all about this shit. I grew up with Corby's. I don't know about this Gulso shit. It's all technical. So It's all new.
Indeed. So welcome to our podcast, Cole. We were just saying before that.
Thank you for having me.
We've just reached a milestone ourselves. Somewhere on the line, we've gone over the 12-month mark. So we've done a lot of podcasts in that time. Well, a lot of pubcasts, more to the point.
I think we're over 30 episodes.
I really only started listening with the pubcasts.
Yeah, most people.
I listened to a few of the early podcasts, but only started listening when you started doing it live.
Yeah,
it's much more entertaining live.
Because I get to
actually with the pubcast. Yeah, that was the only way we could make an editable. Yeah, I'm not going back to be pre doing it live. There was too much stuff to be cut out every week. I got over it. So yeah, Mert controls himself heaps better when he's got a fucking camera pointed at him. Don't look at me like that, Mert.
I was saying, whatever you say in this podcast can and will be used against you. So how do I know? Because the other day I got a text message from Corin. There's a little folder. It says lullaby. I opened up. It's the fucking lullaby I sang in.
Oh, there you go. It was a good lullaby. Tell you what, I've got on the screen. It's still only 18 viewers. We're broadcasting on 6 platforms now. So we've actually got over 60 viewers. So on the platform that you're on, you'll see how many we are on. But if you flick through the 6 platforms, there's mostly Facebook and there's one YouTube channel that it's live on. You'll see we've got about 60 people listening tonight, which is a pretty good result, pretty normal. We get about 1,000 listens an episode, which we're pretty happy with. So when we get round to loading them up, don't talk to me about that. I'm catching up slowly. Barry Gardner's one, I think, just went up. So that gives you an idea how far behind we are.
That's not too bad, actually.
No,
and we missed last week, and I had a lot of people sending me messages crying how they had to spend time with their family and drinking on their own and staring at a blank computer screen. It's just lovely to know that we have such an impact on your.
All these people have joined us tonight to hear Cole's side of the story. So most of them have probably shut the fuck up, Kev. Most of them have probably spoken to Cole if you've bought anything from Gamma Artists and Supplies that involved a phone call, or you may have got help and advice from him online. And so he's always on there doing his bit. He's a big contributor to the industry outside of Gamaco as well as inside. So, yeah, we're very happy to have you on today. Cole, where did you grow up? Where are you from, mate? Can you hear me?
That's all robots speak to me. I didn't hear a word.
He said, where did you grow up?
Oh,
where did you
I might have to try a different internet connection.
Yeah, all right. I'll tell you what. Go on to your usual
we'll
Gamaco data. Does that work where you are? Gamaco data. Oh, he doesn't have Gamaco data yet. Fuck.
No, just never got back to me.
Yeah, all right. I'll send you a text message with the questions. Fucking technology. Go NBN.
No, it's better now. It's better now. It's fine now. It's fine. Go ahead.
Oh,
Where'd you grow up? Where are you from? What's your background? Tell us about where you grew up as a little Cole Barrett boy running around. It's not better. It's really not fucking better.
Oh,
right. How about now?
Well,
right, we can hear you now.
We can hear you. How about you answer our question while we can hear you?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Right. Yeah, I can hear you. You sounded like robots a moment ago, but you're okay now.
All right. Do we persevere? I think we should. We'll have one more go at this. So,
right.
Did you hear the question?
No.
Where did you grow up? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in the Blue Mountains. I've lived in the Blue Mountains my whole life.
So for all those people that don't know anything about the Blue Mountains because they live in South Australia or Flinders Ranges or whatever, Sweden. Tell us about the Blue Mountains.
So the Blue Mountains is west of Sydney. About an hour west of Sydney, you get to the Blue Mountains. I've always lived in Falconbridge or Springwood or Blacksland, which are the mid-mountains. You go higher up, you get to the famous parts like the Three Sisters up in Katoomba. It's a pretty it's not quite rural. It's not quite suburban. It's a bit in between. Just about all the houses and all the streets around here back onto bushland. So out my back gate, there's endless bush.
So are you on the south side of the highway or north side?
South.
South. So you're back onto the Cox's catchment, Warragamba, that area.
Probably.
Yeah, you do. It's all right.
He's only lived there the whole time. Don't ask complicated questions.
Sorry, dude. All right, yeah. So the Blue Mountains is a pretty epic place, and it's pretty funny because it took from the time that they settled in Sydney to the time when they finally got across the Blue Mountains was 25 years. So there you go. It's a pretty interesting place and very hard to get across, very hard to navigate around there.
I went on a rock climbing trip with some friends, and we stayed in Blackheath, which has to be the worst, coldest, most desolate place in the world at that time of year. But we actually went and saw the place where they did the first crossing of the Blue Mountains for the postal carts, and saw where they chipped out the channels and stuff. And my initial thoughts were, how the fuck did they get a horse and cart up here? It's not a nice pathway.
It's actually that's probably Cox's Road and the original Cox's Pass that ran down off Mount York. That road was so steep that to get the carts down was the problem. Getting them up, they just used bullocks and they drove them up. But getting them down, they actually would cut a tree at the top of the hill and drag the tree down the hill as a brake, right? Because there's no way to brake the carts effectively. So at the end of, by the time Darwin came through, he wrote in his journal, I've been a guide up the mountains. But by the time Darwin came through, there was a pile of trees at the bottom of the mountains that looked like an epic bonfire of all these trees that everyone had dragged down, left at the bottom. So there you go, top of the hill.
It was pretty amazing. Now that you mention it, going down would have been worse than going up.
Yeah, so interesting. I hope we can still hear Cole. I just hope he's turned off his camera. Yeah, good. Right,
I can hear you guys. I'm just going to improve my internet by going for a long walk.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough.
Don't go too far into the bush.
My wife always says go for a long walk off a high cliff, but anyway.
Blackheath, Kevin, sorry. Blackheath, what did I call it? I don't know. Black Death, Black Cold. We went up there.
Around here we call it Bleak Heath.
Yeah, Bleak.
We went up there, Bleak Heath, yeah, that's what he's written. We had 180 millimeters of rain in 3 days that we were camping there. And we had to get out and dig channels around our tents. And we all had our personal little protection moat. It was kind of funny.
So for the Americans, that's how much did you say? 180?
Yeah.
180. So what's that? 7 inches? 7 inches.
7.5.
70.
7.5.
Oh, well, let's split hairs, Mert. Jesus Christ, man. You got to correct me on everything, don't you?
Yeah. He lived in America.
He did, yeah. He knows his inches.
He's qualified to correct you. He knows his
I've
inches.
been saying mine's 7.5 for years, but my wife reckons 6. But anyway.
So anyway, in the Blue Mountains, we're notorious for having absolutely terrible internet.
It's going to freeze. He's going to die. You understand what we're putting this man through? It's cold out.
So walking away from my home has improved my internet connection. I can see and hear you all fine now.
Just climbing up that mountain. Just climbing up the mountain.
Yeah, you got to climb on top of the mountain to get a good internet connection.
Well, it's funny you should say that because our next guest in a few weeks, not our next one, but in a few weeks, if it comes to plan, literally has to drive up a mountain to do it. So you'll be the first. You've beat him to it. You've taken his thunder. Anyway, yeah. So you grew up around the mountains in the bush and stuff. I guess. Yeah. How were knives involved in that childhood?
Well, I can remember. It's probably about 5 years old, standing in a newsagent with my mother, and they used to have those displays, just like a cardboard hang-up thing. They have those little 2-blade slip joints stuck on them in little elastic bands, and nagging my mother until she bought me one.
I remember that.
So that would have been my first knife.
There you go. Little.
And then I was probably around the age of like 10 or so when I got my first Swiss Army knife with a saw on it. The saws on those things are amazing.
Yeah.
But were you disappointed to learn that the steel wasn't 3V?
at the time, I was in a army disposal store once, and I overheard the guy behind the counter saying that Swiss Army knives were made with the best steel. He didn't say what they were made of, but it was the best steel. So it was at that point I thought, well, you could improve all knives by making them with the same steel that Swiss Army knives are made from.
Man,
whatever that steel is. Whatever it is, it's the best steel. So obviously you should make everything from it. So why don't you make great big survival knives and machetes and swords from that steel?
Mm.
There's
It'll be a
only
bit hard to
limited
fold up.
amount because it's the best steel.
That's why they're
Exactly.
gonna make
And
such
it's a
small
guy behind the
blades.
counter in a disposal store. So obviously he knows what he's talking about.
Fuck yeah. Haven't we come a long way since then?
Corin, you
We
should
don't
do both buy. You should do both
Can't
buy
argue
that
with that.
best steel.
I do already. I just don't invite you. Okay.
Oh.
I know, rough, isn't it? So that was his first knife. Yeah, righto. So that was the one you nagged your mother to buy, which is fair enough, because you were 10 and everything. What was the first one you saved up and bought for yourself with your own money? He's walked too far.
Turn around, Cole. Turn around. He's gone. That is kind of funny.
So let's just put on a checklist. Find a guest who has a
I'm going to go
reliable
and have a
internet.
cup of tea. Everyone, just go and have a cup of tea. Oh, here we go. No, he's coming back. It's coming back in. Just let me add that. Look at that. Ah, we got him back. Look at the swirly line. The swirly line of death. We need to sacrifice free versions to get an internet connection tonight. Shocking.
Yeah, crazy.
This is COVID that's causing this. It's all those people in Melbourne that are just like stuck at home, gone ape shit stir crazy.
Taking up the bandwidth of the whole of Australia.
And all the
Very selfish.
Right, here he is. Back
That's the one, Jamie. High Street in Penrith. It's still there.
There you go. See, Jamie grew up there as well. Sausage man and Cole. See, Jamie was in there one day and the guy behind the counter was telling Jamie how all knives are the best steel. You were there together. That was Jamie. So what was the first knife you bought for yourself with your own saved pennies?
It was one of those horrendous hollow handle survival knives. One of the ones with the liquid filled compass in the end.
Nice.
And they've got a little capsule with matches and fishing line and fish hooks and sinkers.
I threw mine out.
Stupid. And that was a knife that made me realize how shit different steels can be. So I remember I took that down the bush and I was just chopping some little limbs off branches. And then I looked at the edge of it, and the edge was like a wiggly ribbon. So it definitely wasn't made out of the same steel that the Swiss Army knives are.
There is no way in the world I could have bent the edge on my one. My one had behind the edge was probably about 4 mil thick, just behind the edge, with a bevel on it like this.
I reckon my one was unhardened mild steel.
Yeah, quite probably. Mine was camo though, so that made it even more better. It was a weird camo though. It was like a desert camo.
Mm.
Look at Kev on his phone.
Cole,
Yeah,
how'd you decide? How'd you get into making knives from the early stages of collecting knives to saying, "Fuck it, I want to make my own"? How'd that happen?
Well, watching movies as a child and as a young person, you see loads of cool knives and cool swords in particular in movies. So I started making miniature swords out of nails. And my father had this slab of steel, like hardened steel, a little anvil. It's about the size of a house brick. And I just take any old like bullet head nail and bash it and cold forge it with a hammer until I flattened it out and it formed a blade shape, and then sit there for hours on end with a whetstone with no lubricant, typically just sharpening on it dry to shape it. And I ended up with quite a collection of all these different little swords, miniature versions of swords I'd seen in movies, like long swords from Highlander, katanas, little rapiers and things like that, little scimitars, all just forged out of nails, with little guards on them made from Milo tin lids, usually just with a cotton wrapped handle, something like that. The earliest ones I did just had little lashed on tiny little nail cross guards, but I got better at making cross guards out of sheet metal from things like Milo tins after that, and shaping the bullet head end of the nail into a pommel. I don't have any of them anymore, but in my mind, they were all pretty awesome. They all look pretty good. Like they came out just the way I wanted them to.
Where are they now?
I don't know. Lost in a move at some point, I think.
Oh,
That sounds like a title of a TV show. Where are they now?
Lost in a move, yeah.
The funny thing is, miniatures can sometimes sell for as much as the full thing. So, depending on the quality of the miniature, I mean, I've paid twice for a miniature what I paid for a fucking real knife once.
But I started making them from bigger and bigger nails, and then I realized, hey, I can just cold forge, hammer out this nail. And at that time, I didn't really understand why you need to heat up your metal to move it better and stuff like that. Or I couldn't do that even if I wanted to. So I started hammering out great big nails, the biggest nails I could find, to flatten them out and form a blade, and then hand sharpen them, hand polish them, grind them until they came to an end.
Did your nails ever get as big as railroad spikes?
Never quite that big. So I made a couple out of nails, and then I moved up to using a tine I cut off a garden implement. A cultivator. It's sort of halfway between a rake and a hoe. They've got 3 or 5 clawed prongs on them. But I hacksawed a tine. Off one of those, and this is when I was probably about 12 years old. And while the family was out, we had a potbelly stove that I got going as hot as it could. I'd put a wire on the end of this tine and dangle it in the potbelly stove, pull it out and run out to the shed and hammer it on this little anvil to straighten it out and then flatten it. And then I realized it was much quicker if I just brought that anvil inside and put it directly on the floorboards and bash the crap out of it there. It saves you a lot of heat from having to run outside to the shed. So it made a tremendous racket. Yeah.
So how many houses did you burn down?
About a quarter of one.
Oh, really?
Or fucked up the flooring from
unrelated incident.
Unrelated incident.
But I managed to forge it out and flatten it into a blade. And I don't have this knife anymore either, but it'd be interesting to get to find it and look at it just to see how it actually turned out like. But I just found some scrap wood like skirting from housing that I pinned on as scales. And I sharpened up the blade. I even put partial serrations on it because that was the style at the time. So it had a 1/3 serrated section down at the bottom of the blade. And I was pretty pleased with that. I think I made a sheath for it out of wood as well. But then I actually went into the bush and used it, and it could cut wood. It could cut wood okay. But then when I, like any sort of impact with rocks, would just roll the edge and deform the edge. So it wasn't really hardened properly. And that's basically when I gave up on trying to make knives for probably a couple decades, because I realized I just didn't have the right tools or materials to make the sort of knife I wanted to make. I didn't want to make any knife. I wanted to make a good knife. And without the right steel, without the right tools to work it, I thought that was a bit of a waste of energy, a waste of effort to spend that time making something all by hand that just wasn't up to performing the way I wanted it to.
No, fair enough. And I think a lot of people share that sentiment. They get into it. Well, I know it's true for Mert, it's true for me, and it's probably true for Kev, that we got into knife making to make something better than what we had or could get.
Yeah. Thanks.
So, and whether we ever achieved that, I don't know. But we've had a lot of fun trying, haven't we? Let's be honest. So
yeah, but that's what got me back into knife making later in life is I've bought loads of knives from different companies, outdoors knives primarily, from companies like Essie and Boosie, and I bought a couple more Boosie knives recently. But also Bark River. Bark River make fantastic knives, but none of them were ever quite exactly what I wanted. I thought they all had areas they could be drastically improved on. And knife making, something I was still fascinated by all those years. I'd still collect Blade magazine. I'd still go to Blade forums, occasionally go to the Australian knife forums, and just read about knife making. Blade forums especially. I've spent countless hours lurking on Blade forums and reading about knife making and different steels and heat treatment long before I ever actually got into making knives myself. So when I actually got into it, I knew what I wanted to do and what I wanted to make. It's just a matter of working my way up to the level to working with the tools and materials that I needed to get the results I wanted.
No, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. And, we all, I guess we all have that thing in common. Most of the people listening will feel the same way. So, yeah, all good. Kev?
Yes. Me. I'm just opening up my little questionnaire. So,
I thought that's
what was the first knife that you bought out of the money that you saved yourself, mate?
fucking hell, Kev.
No,
You're not
just kidding.
taking
We just done that. Just kidding. All right. So, have you had any interest where having a knife, whether it's your own knife or your Swiss Army knife, has come in handy? Were you ever involved in like the Scouts or something like that?
Yeah, I was in the Boy Scouts, the Cub Scouts, and then the proper Scouts. It was around that time period that I had started buying folding knives out of my own money. Back then, liner locks were just coming into fashion. So I had a pretty decent liner lock collection around that time. But later on, some of the first knives that I really liked that I thought were actually really good were some of the early Benchmade and Spyderco lockbacks and liner locks. And my favorite folding knives to this day are still Benchmade folding knives because they have the best locking mechanism, in my opinion, the axis lock. So when I get around to making a second folding knife, so I've made a slip joint. I only made one slip joint so far, but I'd like to someday come to making folding knives with axis locks on them, because the patent on the axis lock is also expired now, as far as I know, so anyone can make them. You don't need Benchmade's permission.
Oh, that's all right. Don't have to pay them any royalties to do it, as opposed to having a hole in your blade where you have to pay someone for that.
So,
I think the going rate for putting a hole in your blade is pretty reasonable if you go through Spyderco. You make something like 10 a year for a small fee.
Yeah.
But later on,
yeah, go ahead.
But later on, I came to appreciating fixed blades more, in no small part because you can batten them through a log of wood without buggering your lock mechanism. And that's when I started buying things like Becker from K-Bar, and Essie fixed blade knives, and then onto Bark River knives and Boosie knives.
So, what was the ones you showed me the other day? They were Boosie, weren't they?
Yeah, they were Boosie. There were some brand new ones from Boosie, made to order.
Yeah, so Cole collects knives as well, so he buys knives from all over the world, and he showed me two that he picked up in the States. And frankly, Cole, you should have bought custom. But anyway, if you like them, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, as I said, I bought them to satisfy my curiosity.
yeah, fair call. All right, so let's have a little bit of a look at some of Cole's stuff. And Cole, would you like to explain a bit about your style? I'll go back a bit.
Well, I'm kind of split between two major areas of interest. One is just making sort of rugged, no nonsense outdoors knives, things with micarta handles, G10 handles, other composite materials. And the other is making...
Is that MG42?
That is MG42. 7.92 Mauser, 1,200 rounds a minute.
What happens if you put me and Cole in Las Vegas? That's what happens.
Muscle.
That was fun that day. Sorry. Keep going. Talk about your knife. Oh, yeah, that was a good one. Damascus handgun. turtle.
Oh, it's in Fort Worth, Texas, catching
is
a
that
turtle.
handle material? Are you picking handle material from a turtle?
He was,
Yeah,
he's
that tortoiseshell makes really beautiful scales on little slip joints.
And so that
It
fish in
does.
your hand is obviously for your sheaths.
Oh, no, I was catch and release. That's in this little tiny creek on the side of a road in Texas.
Yeah, right.
that's so cool.
I used to carry this little Altoids tin with me everywhere. I used to have it in my pocket or a little pouch, which contains a couple rolls of like 8 meters of 2 or 3 kilogram test fishing line and these tiny little spade hooks that don't even have an eyelet on them. They're so small.
Wow.
And if you ever find yourself next to a body of water, you can just catch a grasshopper or a worm and chuck it in and see what's biting.
And,
I must have pulled
yeah,
about 10 of those little green sunfish out of that tiny creek in Texas.
why not? He was stuck there with bad weather or something, weren't you? You couldn't get on a flight, so
The storm, so the flight was cancelled. So I stayed there another day. And yeah, I'm quite happy to have my flight cancelled anytime I'm in Texas to get an extra day there.
you
Really enjoyed it there. So that's just a little EDC. I make a lot of those nowadays, like just a small, practical little fixed blade that you could carry in a pocket sheath and forget that it's there.
When
So
you say
Cole's-
small, what size blade are you talking about? 3-inch?
Yeah, typically 3-inch. That one's probably, I don't know if I specify the length there, but it's probably about 85 mil long.
Yeah, right.
good.
It's out of 2.7 mil thick Nitro V.
Yeah.
little bird and trout, something like that.
Yeah. But I really like making knives that size with bolsters nowadays. That's one of my favorite designs, with peen textured or satin finished bolsters. But as I was saying, I'm kind of torn between making like the most rugged, dependable outdoors knife, whether it's a camp knife or a chopper or a survival knife, what have you, or bushcraft knives or little EDCs, and making really elaborate frame tang buoys and daggers and things like that with coined liners, file work, that sort of stuff. I really enjoy. It takes forever, but I think it's well worth the effort. I really like Aaron Wilburn's work. If anyone watching isn't familiar with Aaron Wilburn, look him up on Instagram. His work is absolutely incredible. He's a mastersmith that makes a lot of buoys and daggers, mostly in Damascus or W2 carbon steels with wrought iron guards and frames and spaces and fittings, bronze or nickel silver liners and spaces, and quite often with really textured, characterful stag antler handle scales. His work's absolutely incredible. So I kind of aspire to make stuff similar to that level of complexity, but I really like using the high-end stainless steels for all of my blades. High-end stainless and tool steels.
Yeah, absolutely. Many a bar of very thick CPM steel gets bought in and never released to the customers, believe me. So this grinder here, that's one of the original little buddies. That's
that's the old LB1000 Wilmot grinder. I bought that from Gamaco in, I think, probably some point in 2015, maybe 2016.
Yeah, that was when we were stocking. Would have been when we were stocking them, because that's when they went to the metal wheels on them. After I got the shit plastic ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the wheels on that one held up for about 3 years before I replaced them with another set of metal wheels. Oops.
You grind a lot though, and in this case, this belt here, you're talking actually about using. We tried out a new 60 grit green ceramic belt for the bevels. It's meant to be good for grinding titanium. I know what that is.
That'd be a Necro Reaper.
That would be a Necro Reaper. A Necro Reaper. So last week I told you what they wouldn't let me call it, so we called it a Necro Reaper, and they all said that was a cool name because Necro, but it's actually because.
No, you're not allowed to say it.
Okay. It's still fucking hilarious though, even if you don't know.
I'm sure most of our deviant listeners will understand why it's called the Necro Reaper.
Yeah, they grind stiff and cold.
Nothing
Anyway,
to do with
let's
neck
go.
knives.
So there's a first time crimping a foil packet. Ooh, there you go. Cole does our heat treating at work.
Yeah.
Use that. And here's another one of his. He's trying out some of the rogue resin from.
It's from Maverick, the Combat Abrasive distributors.
Yeah, we brought in a whole bunch of stuff, polishers, eh? So from Maverick, yeah, we've got stacks and stacks of polishing gear, like the beautiful,
yeah, like 10 different polishing compounds.
Yeah, all the highest luster stuff. No longer is it just brown and green and white and stuff. Now we've got the pink one. I don't know if I've probably said it on the podcast. Someone asked me the other day, how do you get a good finish on stabilized timber? That pink compound, man, fuck it.
Yeah, loose leaf wheel with pink compound.
Yeah, it's not like It's not like those like if you put a handle finish on stabilized timber, then the finish wears off and it just goes back. But if you polish the timber, it's like it's polished. You know, it's freaking cool.
Yeah, I definitely prefer using finishes that you can touch up easily, rather than that leave a layer on the surface that can be damaged and expose what's underneath. Much easier to finish, to touch up a finish that's oil based or just polish based.
Yep.
We
so we had a question, Cole. We had a question
I'll put it up.
From Facebook user.
That one.
Yep. Speaking of fashion, he'd like to ask Cole what thing you see coming into fashion at the moment, whether it's tools, materials, knife styles, whatever.
That's a really good question. Well, we know those Sri Lankan cleavers are popular.
Serbian.
And we know
shittest knives in the world.
Cleavers, they're popular.
Siberian cleavers.
I was talking to a maker today, and he was saying that he makes them all the time, and he's most popular knife. People buy them.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I'm not going to be a snob about it.
I see ads for them on Facebook.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, like ads for mass-produced ones. They're very popular.
Yes.
Yeah. So that people want to buy them, well, fuck, make them. Anyway. Whatever.
Well, no. If people want to buy them, they can buy them off someone that's not me, because I don't want to make them.
No, that's fair enough. Depends on.
Yeah. There's plenty of them to go around. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
The other stuff that's popular is stuff like that's in this knife. Like we brought in.
Well, we're not talking to you.
Oh well, I'm just looking at this.
We're not interviewing you. We're interviewing Cole.
So that's some layered G10. I honestly don't see people using that much layered G10.
No, I'm looking at the pins. That's what I'm looking at. Those carbon fiber. Pins.
Oh yeah, carbon fiber pins are cool. I like carbon.
If you use those on black micarta, especially black linen micarta, your pins basically disappear. Like on knives I've made with those carbon fiber pins, I've had so many people pick up a knife and say, "How are the handle scales held on?" And say, "Look a bit closer." They're basically invisible.
Yep,
beautiful.
I had got a hunter in the workshop, and it's really dark gidgey, and I've used 6 3mm carbon fiber pins, and the bloke picked it up the other day and he couldn't see the pins, and he's like, "Oh, have you done hidden pins on this?" And I'm like, "No, take a closer look, mate." I mean, they sort of stood out, but obviously not enough. Unless it's just
you can find them if you know they're there to go and look for them.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's magnificent. So yeah, Cole, I'll just take that comment down. So Cole's work, he's just been accepted into the guild as a probationary member, and I don't think there'll be too much issue with him passing his full membership in due course. It couldn't be far off, Cole.
I've still got a paper at Tang, which I haven't done before.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, right. Cole, speaking of the guild membership, can you tell us about the knife that you submitted? Everybody's submitting knives in the guild, but you chose a very hard and finicky way of making knife.
Well, I haven't submitted that one yet. That one's a trial run for one I do plan on submitting, which will be a knife made from mild steel. And strictly speaking, it won't be mild steel by the time I'm done with it, because I did a trial run on the
you're carburizing the steel. You're carburizing.
Yeah.
So
after doing that, I can see how amazingly utilitarian a way of making steel that is. It leaves you with like a very hard but very tough blade that can withstand a lot of deformation. And all it takes is some mild steel.
Yeah. So basically, did you want to talk about the process you used to do it?
Yeah, so it's a process I've read about several times, especially for people. It's similar to the process for color case hardening, which is a process I thought was very interesting and looks pretty cool. But you're taking your mild steel, you're heating it to say 1,000 degrees thereabouts, in a sealed environment with a source of carbon, and exposing it to that source of carbon for an extended period of time at that temperature. It's actually the carbon dioxide that does the job, infuses that carbon into the steel and turns it into carbon steel, from mild steel to carbon steel. The longer you leave it in that environment, and the hotter you get it, the deeper and faster that carbon will penetrate. And I don't have any good information on what sort of carbon percentage you're going to end up in that skin, but in the process I used, I believe I had it up at around 1,000 degrees, just over, for I think it was about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. And at the end of that, I had about 0.6, I think it was 0.3 of a millimeter of penetration, I think it was. So from both sides at the edge, the actual carbon in the edge was about a few millimeters back. But you can take a piece of mild steel and grind it like really thin, and then after the carburizing, you'll have 3, 4, 5 millimeters of depth of hard carbon steel. It's almost like doing it like the way you'd make your samurai sword with a softer iron core and the hard steel jacket, except without all the forging. Instead of making a hot dog bun and then putting a hot dog of softer steel in the center of that and forge welding it all together and drawing it out to get your hard steel edge with a soft core, you're just taking a completely soft piece of steel and carburizing it to put hard steel on the outside and at the edge, and leaving that soft shock absorbing steel in the center.
So process called case hardening. And did you ever measure the hardness when you were done?
No, I've still got that blade. I'll bring it in next time we get a delivery of hardness testers, and run a hardness test on it, or you can take it home and do it on yours. I don't have one at my place. But I did water quench that blade, and yeah, it came out with a couple warps in it because I hadn't quenched it very evenly. I'd basically dropped it out of the foil pack into a bucket of water, so it had a few warps, but it was super easy to straighten because it's got a soft iron core. It's only the edges that are hard and springy. But that process. But that recipe for that process that I used, I forget the exact ratios. I think I ended up not using the recipe that I was trying to use, but it was a matter of using charcoal made from leather. And I'm not sure why you use leather, and I'm not sure why they use bone charcoal in color case hardening. It might be something to do with nitrogen or calcium content. But yeah, charcoal from leather. Charring leather is pretty easy to do. You just need a tin and you poke a hole in it and you cook it until stuff stops coming out of the tin. And table salt, just regular table salt, and some flour as a binder, just mixing it up with some water until it's a stiff consistency, and wrap it around until you've got a black sausage with a blade on the inside. And honestly, the hardest part of that whole process was drying it out fast enough to satisfy my curiosity. So I was sitting there with a heat gun, accelerating the drying process because I was pretty anxious to see what happened when I carburized it. But it worked really well. It's very easy to do. So for all those people that come across some random lump of steel on the ground and they pose the question to one of the groups on Facebook, hey, is this any good to make a knife out of? The answer is yes. You just need to carburize it.
No, the answer is no. Buy from Gamico.
Yes, and speaking of Gamico, and because you didn't get enough of him all day, I think we'll probably call this Knife Maker. With a lot to learn. Timmy, it's Timmy.
Timmy, what's going on?
Chemical Artisan Supplies. Knifemaking Down Under Podcast. So here's a
I
word
just keep
from our
thinking that is
sponsor.
the shittest Kinder Surprise ever. No wonder they banned them.
Really rude. I love that.
Oh, hi, Tim. How you going, mate?
You bastard.
Where's your Soko?
Oh my gosh, I forgot the freaking milk. Let's
Don't
go.
worry, Timmy. Timmy, it's fine.
No.
You've got
This is
nothing
the
to
bit.
prove, mate. There's no
This
peer
is
pressure
the
here.
bit.
Son. This is the bit. What are we doing tonight?
This is the bit. We have no milk. I have chicks now.
Yeah,
Yes,
chicken
what?
jigger.
I have chicks now.
That's,
How we all
that's the only way he gets the chicks.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the only way I get the chicks.
He's not the only guy I know that buys chicks.
I can't believe that to come to the kitchen,
No.
you came downstairs because I thought your parents would have had you living in the basement.
Oh.
Who's that? Another human?
It's another human.
That's not
G'day.
a human.
This has got nothing to do with us. We don't. This is. He's an adult
This is
now. He's
sponsored.
responsible. What?
This is sponsored. 100%. I'm putting this on the marketing budget.
Right.
What have we got?
Milk.
Ah,
Okay, Tim. Gamaco Artisan Supplies is a fantastic supplier of all products knife making related, as well as other art and craft inspired things. What have Artisan Supplies got for us at the moment?
well, Paul and I fixed up the TNF 233 today, which was we're
Oh,
pretty
excuse
fun
me, that's a
exercise.
2333P.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't worry about that. So that was fun. We got that. We'll post it up.
We
with Dale
both got a
sometime.
bit sunburnt.
Oh man. What else? The bulk buy is running good. If you're not in that, get in that, because honestly, the deal on those belts is insane. And
Oh, you
They
mean
are.
the belt? You mean the Reaper belt bulk buy?
oh yeah, the Reaper belt bulk buy.
I walked out the back today, and a pallet of belts has come in. We've got the stickers, and it's all going to go out. So that's
I
going to
want
start.
I want some 6 stickers. You better be sending 6 stickers with it.
We're sending.
You'll get the stickers.
I
You'll
want
get
the
some good stickers. You want the
Sweet.
stickers.
What about the other thing that I've seen on your bulk buy page, which seems to have just gone mad, and you're going to have a pallet of books.
Oh man, that was crazy.
What's
Yeah,
up?
put that
away,
130. Mert can have his 252 page one, which is the truncated version.
No,
We've got
it's
the full-
450 page conk.
I saw it was quite thick.
It is thick.
That's-
It's a thick
Patches
book.
lines up with Mert's head.
We've got the
So that's the
full
book
knife
by-
engineering book.
Dr.
Yeah,
Laren, all about steel, the history of different grades of steel used in knife making and heat treatment. Laren's one of my top sources for heat treating information. He's an incredible resource. His blog that he's been working on for many years now, and his book is just a really condensed, edited, tightened up, slick version of the information he's presented in the past, as well as loads of new information with a lot of input and feedback from other experts in the field of metallurgy.
So his blog is the Knife Steel Nerds, yeah?
Yep.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yeah. No, that's
He
a
is-
fantastic place to go.
He has a PhD in metallurgy, and he's also happens to be a son of Devin Thomas, legendary
Yeah.
knife maker, and who pretty much popularized AEBL with his early work in late 90s, I believe.
Yeah.
To answer Facebook users' question, Nitro V yes, RWL 34 no.
What are we getting instead, though?
We're getting a big delivery of CPM 154, which is the same alloy, the exact same alloy,
Yeah.
except made by Crucible Industries.
in America. And we've got another big shipment of stainless steel coming, which has got some. What are the codes? Come on, spit them out.
So we've got a big delivery through Bowler and Oderholm of N690, which is a cobalt stainless steel.
Yeah.
A lot of sheets of that coming in. We've also got a smaller quantity of M390 stainless, very, very good quality stainless, 4% vanadium in there, 20% chromium. Another smaller quantity of LMAX, which is a very tough, very corrosion-resistant stainless steel, all made in a particle metallurgy process. We've also got that Bowler 26C3 coming in, spicy white. I think Mert enjoys using that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mert's,
you can.
That
It's
loves
very
spicy
easy.
white.
I posted a
Mert loves a
knife
spicy
I made.
white.
Yeah, I do. I posted a knife I made using that steel, and has 1.25 or 20% carbon, and it's very easy to control the hamon. It's super clean steel, and after my regular heat treatment regimen, and after 2 temper cycles, I still was at the 65 Rockwell, 65 point something Rockwell.
That's
It's
not like
hard as-
1.251595.
What's that?
Tim
Well,
wants to
it
say
must
something.
be.
In terms of sharpness, a steel like a 26C3 like really can't be beat. It's a carbon razor blade steel.
It is.
26C3 and Hitachi White Paper 2 are really at the top of the list in terms of how sharp steel can get. You really can't get any sharper than those steels. We've got that coming in, quite a lot of it coming in about 3.8 millimeter thick sheets.
Sweet.
Unless you're using a tool steel wrap, that shit gets fucking sharp.
It's not as
That's the
sharp as
sharpest product on earth.
Not
No,
as good as it. Not as good
it
as a
feels
paper cut.
fucking sharp when you cut your hand with it.
It certainly
You
does.
look at it and it cuts.
It
you.
cuts deep. It cuts deep.
Oh man.
So tell us about this one, Timmy. What's this all about?
Oh yeah. We're setting up a branch 30 minutes up from Perth.
It's down from Perth, but send them
down
the
from
wrong way.
Perth,
Okay.
down from
South.
look, we're upside down. Which is pretty exciting. So we'll be running a bulk buy for free shipping out to the branch, and you can pick up from there. And then we'll be doing a regular sort of similar system to up Melbourne and Queensland pickup systems. So we'll be able to send stuff out and you'll be able to pick up from there, which is pretty exciting. We're really keen to get that off the ground.
Yes, we are.
Sweet.
Facebook user says CPM 154, basically the American equivalent of RWL 34. No, actually, RWL 34 and CPM 154 are both copied off a Japanese steel called ATS 34. So, basically the CPM was before the RWL, I believe, Cole. But anyway, that's history. I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah, and for those of you that don't know, RWL 34 is named after Bob Loveless, Robert Waldorf Loveless. They made a steel based on his favorite alloy, ATS 34, in the improved particle metallurgy process, but Bob never actually used it, as far as I know.
No
No.
shit.
Yeah, no, it's named after him, and named after him. And it was originally ATS 34, which is a Japanese version, and then CPM, which is also powder metallurgy. We were doing it. So we went with CPM this time. We've got a batch being rolled for us. There'll be a significant shipment. It's still a ways off, but the bowler shipment will be in soon. The 1084, 15, and 20 will be in. We've got 3 pallets of Nitro V and other steels coming in soon.
Yeah, about 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now, it's going to be ridiculous. We've got
You guys have been telling me
several
2 weeks for months.
We've been telling you 2 weeks for a long time.
That's how they stay employed.
The deliveries keep getting
2
delayed. We've
weeks.
got some rough seas. We've got some congested ports. Everything keeps
Honestly,
getting put
those
back
ports.
another 2 weeks.
You
Bloody
two sound
hell.
like
But our deliveries were scheduled for this Friday, the 28th. Rough seas and congested ports put that back a week, and realistically, it's going to be another week after our stock docks before we have it on hand. But we've got everything coming in. We've got loads of stabilized wood. We've got 1 millimeter thick 410 stainless for all you guys who want to make folding knives, liners.
There's a container full.
We've got loads of nickel silver coming in.
No shit.
Loads of 1084, 15N20, N690, LMAX,
What bar
M390.
stock of nickel silver?
Yep.
Yeah, bar
Yeah,
stock,
good on you.
as well as pin stock and bar
Yeah.
stock of nickel silver.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
cool.
going to say
Get a
this.
lot of
I'm going to
requests for
say
that.
it once. I'm going to say it once. If you think nickel silver is good, you're fucking wrong. It's shit.
Fuck off.
It's yellow,
You're an arsehole.
tarnished, and it's horrible.
You suck. Go make
No,
your
I don't.
barrel knife out of fucking pure silver then.
I do. I'd rather use pure silver than
Yeah, I
nickel
know.
silver. I hate the way it goes
nickel
yellow.
silver. I like
Yeah,
the way it goes yellow.
Yeah, but that's because you're wrong.
Character. It's character,
It's
Corin.
that traditional style of things.
All one
But I
six
still
is
don't.
heat.
I haven't gone back to using brass. I like bronze or nickel silver.
You
Any
don't
two
use
faves.
416? No 416.
Not often. Not often.
Yeah. There you go. Oh, well, fair enough. But anyway,
And
I mean,
I've
you
actually
know,
got some raw. I've got some
416,
raw.
416 stainless is really hard to beat in terms of a material to use. It machines beautifully. It makes nice
Yeah.
small chips when you're cutting it, when you're filing it, when you're drilling it. It's reasonably strong. It takes an amazing polish, and it'll stay that way for quite a long time.
Not with Tim's grubby mitts all over it. It won't.
much better than nickel silver. So anyway,
Get fucked.
Timmy, what else did you have to tell us tonight?
What else did the biggest focus really is we really want to get that WA branch off the ground. We've set up a new knife making group for WA. So if you're in WA and want to join that, it'd be fantastic. We'll be hopefully once COVID starts lifting, we'll be starting to launch events over there and do all sorts of really fun, interesting things with that. I think there was talks of a makerspace for down there at some point once we get things really kicking off. So there's lots of big plans on the future, and there's heaps and heaps of stock coming really soon. So just two more weeks, guys. 2 more weeks.
Yeah, 2 more weeks. Fuck everything. So
2
we
weeks.
don't have
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So yeah, we're going to get some stock over there, and that's happening at the moment. They're getting to the point now where they're going to start picking that stock. We're basically waiting for the steels to come in because no point sending stuff without it. The bulk buyers group, Timmy's been clearing a bunch of stuff on there, a whole bunch of steels, offcuts,
keep an eye on that group, because every random thing we find that is going to be useful to you, it might be an offcut, it might be a bar that's too narrow to sell at a standard size, or it's been cut in half or something. We'll be putting that stuff up on there.
Yeah, Tim's moved a heap of steel on there today. There was 1084, 15 and 20, all in non-standard.
I think it's all
lengths.
gone.
Yeah,
It's all
probably.
gone,
Even
isn't
some
it?
L6.
There was some L6.
We saw
Genuine.
that.
And
What I
you
like
can
about
make
that-
a good saw out of that stuff.
Yeah, people can make an awesome saw and then change that saw into a knife,
Mate,
and then
the
it
way to
works
do it.
perfectly.
That's gone. That's gone.
He's just conserving battery. He's having so much fun. We
So,
can't see Mert's head buried into his hands as he's crying over how pathetic this is.
Oh, well, it is what it is. We've got to do what we've got to
I
do.
can still hear you, motherfuckers.
Everyone's still there.
Oh, hello, Mert.
Hey, go
So, Tim and Cole sit next to each other all day. Today they were working together to rebuild a kiln, as Tim mentioned before. And there we go. Is there anything else you want to spit out, Tim? Other than your milk.
Not milk.
Not milk. No, I think that's it for tonight. I'll let Cole do the rest of the product promotion.
Yeah, Cole's gone into frozen mode. He looks like
Shit.
looking at the image on the screen at the moment. It's like a snapshot of a horror movie.
It's B-grade horror, isn't it?
Yeah,
You're just waiting for him to come out with a knife.
yeah. The Bleak Heath Witch.
So there you go. Well, you may as well keep going. What else is there, Timmy? Stickers? You got stickers made? They're pretty sexy. I got some here.
Yeah, we got some
Yeah, they
stickers
are pretty
made.
cool.
They're a little smaller than what I wanted, but I think that's just because I'm an idiot.
They'll fit on your scooter really well then.
They
Guys, how about
will.
Corin, how about you do a little movie teaser, Australian Psycho, with Cole Barrett using 3V kitchen knife with the shower scene.
Nice.
So
Nice.
Matt Snape says coal probably actually is frozen, considering it's the Blue Mountain.
I wouldn't doubt that. And Joni
So you'll be
Bishop said
seeing-
Strur and then Sterling all the way.
That's up
That's
to
No
them.
way,
Reaper.
man. No, he's
They
just
was-
doing it in Australia. And
they
for
was
the US
supposed to
guys,
be-
there you go.
They were supposed to be 400 millimeters, but he wrote 40 centimeters. But anyway, they look pretty
Nice
good
one,
if you get them
Tim.
up against the camera.
Look, it's fine. It's fine. I'll get them reprinted.
No, you won't. They cost a fortune. We're not doing that. Get
You're
them out
lucky you
there.
made the stuff up.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm really proud of that. Reaper, flexing Reaper. See? Oh no, that's not. That's Necro Reaper.
Nah, the
It's a
flexing
funny-
Reaper.
Just a big shout out to Andrew Smith who did the artwork for that. Thanks, mate.
Look at that. Look at that, man. Fucking flexing Reaper. I love it.
I
So
love
yeah,
the
for the
flexing
benefit
Reaper.
of the podcast, it's the Reaper flexing. Check him out. Check out. It's all our trademarked art.
Oh, he's gone too.
You know what makes that difficult? He's the guy that hosts this, so we have no
Yes.
control now.
Well, that's fine. Yeah,
Doesn't
I've
Cole
run
look
out of
freaky
milk
though?
though.
Cole
I
does look
think this
freaky.
episode should say "Bad Connection." It should be the title.
Cole, if you can picture it, Cole looks like sort of the Blackheath Yowie. Like he's got a head of black hair and a beard. Really not
He doesn't even
stimulating for
have a
anyone that's
beard.
listening. It's not stimulating for those people who are listening to the podcast version and can't see this image, but he's just, there's a picture frozen. Looks like Corin's come back. Had a little
Man,
play with
man.
himself for a few minutes.
This is a shocker. This is a shocker. Well, this is the
Yeah.
worst connection.
I don't
we've
think
had.
you're gonna put. I don't think we're gonna publish this on a what's the name as a podcast, will we?
Oh, yeah, we will.
Yes, we will.
Tim,
We will, but we'll have to edit it really heavy.
Tim, there's a question from John
Yeah.
Kerry. When are the hammers going up that Jason Ellard's made?
Oh,
They're not going to make it up. We're buying them. They're fucking nice hammers. They are mint.
Yeah, they were a sponsorship. They were a sponsorship deal.
They were not a sponsorship deal. We're paying him for those.
We just one day.
One
When we get
day
round to it. We get round to it.
when my accountant remembers. Oh,
No, seriously, those hammers are schmick. We were all playing with one in the lunchroom, and
Right there.
yeah, they're schmick. The 40 mil stickers. All the stickers are available with bulk buy purchases of the belts. You should get some stickers with every bulk buy, and we'd love you guys to get online and show people the belts, show what they're capable of. We think they're the best that have ever been released in the knife industry, and we hope you feel the same. And it's not just a name. Like, we know there's some out there that don't live up to the hype. Like, what can I say?
These things are killer, man. Killer.
They're killer.
Combat.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man.
yeah, that's getting edited out. But
I think he said cabbage.
No, I was
Yeah, that's
combating
Cole was
my
one
cough.
he'd rave about.
I was combating my cough.
We sell
Oh, right,
shredders as
right.
well if you want to go down the path. But these belts are absolutely mint. The price is unbelievable. If you look online, with like
The
30%
price is
cheaper than the US.
unbelievable.
And
The
and
price
this is like
amazing.
never be to repeated. Klingspor have said to us, we're never doing this again, but we want people to use them. You guys do it, and we'll get them in the hands of people, basically, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Is Cole, are you there? Can you hear us?
No, he's gone.
I'll remove him and try and add him again. And then if that doesn't work, we'll have to figure out something else that's better.
That's a shame. More better.
More
Much
better.
more better. More better.
Much more better.
Ah,
Here we go. I'll
Here
add
you
him
go.
again. Can you hear us, Cole?
Is he frozen?
No, he's not even
he
there.
Might be. He might be stiff and cold.
Tim, do your best Cole impersonation while he's not on.
fuck, I can't be a robot.
Oh,
Ooh.
Fuck, I can't be a
Corey
robot.
Cunningham says, how long can he buy the belts at that bulk buy price? The bulk buy is still open, and Klingspor have given us until I think it's mid-September. And after mid-September, it'll be all over. I'm going to get
Red
on the
Rover.
order into them. So I'm just probably about mid-September, we'll place another order with them to pick up whatever's left. And there we go. Everybody's locked in and you'll get your belts. It'll just take some time because they've got to come out from Germany. And to get the price what we did, we're going to sea freight them. I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
So, so you want
I visited the factory at Klingspor yesterday, just the one in Sydney. They've got a bunch of rolls of the red one being cut up and just strips being made at the moment, but they're still going to have to sea freight in a bunch of the belt material. So if you don't get your belts on the first lot, we're really sorry. We tried to get as much out as possible, but there's just such a huge quantity, and I don't think Klingspor was expecting how many belts we were going to buy from them, because they've never really thought the industry was that big until now, and now they've really opened their eyes.
Good on them.
So
Well done.
yeah. And look, the important thing here is that you love them. If you don't love them, I have no hesitations in saying just pack them all back up in a box, send them back, I'll give you back your money. There's no hesitation whatsoever in saying that, because what I've got now from like Sean McIntyre, from Bruce Barnett, from name drop here, the guys at Thale Valley Forge, I just can't imagine that we're going to have anybody else think that they're not the best. I mean, it depends on what you're doing, though. And if they're not for you, pack them up, send them back. No problem. Give you back.
And just with the next comment down, Corin, from Corey, is 6 packs enough? Remember, 1 pack is 12 belts.
So Sean's getting
Not enough.
1 pack is 12 belts. You don't need 6 packs, man. Fuck. No. What?
That's what I was saying about my ads too.
I mean to say, if you want to get 6 packs, I'm here for you. Like, I'm your friend, right? That's because I'm a salesman. That's my job. But if I'm realistic, all right, that's a lot of belts. You need to be making a lot of knives. How long would it take you to churn through 6 packs, Kev?
Oh, a decent amount of time. I think I've ordered first round 10 packs of each, but I teach. And
yeah, you've got 3 grinders running.
Before the group buy is done, I'll order another 5 packs of each on mine. But that's like professional plus running classes. Look, 6 packs, while it's at that price, if you've got the coin there to buy them, because you're not getting them cheaper.
Well,
they'll never be as cheap.
They'll never be as cheap. Buy 6
It doesn't
packets,
go bad, guys.
stick them in the drawer.
no, that's
won't go
that's
bad.
not true. They do. The joint goes after about 3 or 4 years. The joint goes.
Yeah,
So
3 or 4 years.
Yeah. But for me, you got to think from my perspective. I'm making knives that are like
That's
this
3 or
big.
4 knives,
Oh,
1
fuck.
belt.
1 belt's going to be just sweet for fucking
Yeah.
4 years.
Corin got upset. 1 belt, 3 years, it's finally snapped, and he was trying to get a refund on it
Fuck yeah,
from like 2014.
it'd still be good. And I bought it second hand off someone. Anyway, that's all right. Darwin,
I could ship my worn belts up to you, and I reckon you could make a knife out of them.
well, that's all right. Want some of the best knife makers in Australia just use warm
I
belts,
know.
mate.
I'm
not going to let that one die.
No, not at all. So yeah,
Here we go.
6 packs, get them.
Yeah, those 36 grit green cling spores. Depends. There's green and there's red. There's the Necro Reaper and the Reaper. The 36 grit is good, but the 24 grit, that is one angry mother belt. Do not be in the way of that if the tape lets go.
It's for you, Kev.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
No, don't get your thumb stuck in that sucker.
Jesus.
I'll release photos of my thumb injury one day. A select number of people have seen it. It's reasonably gruesome. I did a good effort. And that was with a 50 grit blaze belt. Maybe I should do it on the other hand with a 50 grit Klingspor Reaper and see if it takes out the same amount of material.
I want to see you
That's a
do it with
good
a
idea.
24 grit Necro. 24 grit Necro is where it's at. That's where it's at, man. That shit's just going to spray blood and guts everywhere. So watch your fingers. That's why we call them
Go
killer
up
abrasive
one.
belts.
Go up one from Jamie's Kilgspore belts, and Aaron
There's grit
Finn.
recommendations.
Is that from
Oh,
the Middle
man.
Earth? Kilgspore.
Kilgspore is the Middle Earth belts.
Here's
They
Cole
come
back again.
specifically for dwarven folk to make axes.
So basically, grit recommendations. Cole's probably the best one to talk about this. Cole, what's your grit recommendations for the cling spores?
I can tell you what I use personally. I really, really like the 40 grit just a Red Reaper belt. That's my primary belt for stock removal, whether it's beveling or profiling. And I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say it, but I like to skip straight to 120 grit. So I skip 60, I skip 80, and go straight to 120 grit. After that, yeah, it's all. Well, something I've noticed about the 120 grit is it leaves such a consistent finish that I'll just leave it at 120 grit before I go to heat treat.
When I got
So the
Sean McIntyre to
The
review
finish
them,
with the 120 grit belt is really nice.
when I got Sean McIntyre to review them, the first belt that he used was the 120 grit, and he basically rang me up and said it's the best 120 grit I've ever used ever. So, yeah, it's the only one he likes. So that was pretty big words, I thought. So anyway, that's enough about necros. Let's talk more about something else. Kev, Cole.
He's spinning rims again.
Too fucking hard, man. All right.
Yeah.
We'll Timmy, you're going to have to edit this episode fairly heavily.
I can't wait.
Got your
No,
work
you
cut out
can't.
for you now, don't you, Timmy?
Oh boy.
All right. Well, let's wrap up Timmy time. We'll do some viewer questions. Cole, I'm very sorry, man, that we couldn't get this to work, but it's I think it's just the state of the.
I think we need Tim to exit on the theme song.
All right.
It sounds like a great idea.
Let's do that.
Timmy.
Knife maker.
With a lot to learn. Timmy, it's Timmy. He's a handful of trouble at every
Timmy,
turn.
what's going on?
Timmy leaves the
Gamaco Artisan Supplies.
and goes up to the trying to be cool, he's number one. He joins all his friends
Knifemaking Down Under Podcast.
and he's always having such a lot of fun. Timmy, it's Timmy.
I can't watch that intro and not fucking crack myself. If you're listening to that on a podcast, all right, you're just missing everything. It's you really are. That the Timmy time
It's
the
worth
Timmy
joining
Time
us live at least
video
once.
is it cracks me up. I don't know if it maybe cracks
We've got
everybody else
another
up just like
clip
me.
to add into that intro.
What was that?
We've got another clip to add into that intro.
That was the
Nice.
one you showed me today. Yeah,
You know
that was fair on mint.
Yeah.
Can I tell them what it is? Basically,
No. Leave it for
Nah,
a
you
surprise.
I'll tell you, it's funny as fuck. It's you ever
Alright,
seen
alright.
Dumb and Dumber?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So Cole's heat treating some blades at work today, or whatever. I don't know when it was. They come out of the cryo, and who sticks his tongue on and gets it stuck on the blade? Timmy.
They'll
It's
come out of liquid
Timmy.
nitrogen at 196.
And I'm thinking, how am I going to explain this to work cover? Frostbite on a tongue. I'm like, dudes.
I can explain.
No, it'd be like, I can make fun.
So yeah, with Timmy with liquid nitrogen and a blade, it was fairly funny video. So hopefully that makes it up. You did get it off. It just pulled up a little bit of frostbite. We're all good.
No, it's funny.
Timmy,
That's why I needed extra milk tonight. So Jay Cross
Just
on the thing of those.
It's got no
belts,
sense
go-
of taste,
go for it,
but that's okay.
mate. Yeah, Jay
You
Cross,
sound
buy
like
plenty
Mike
of belts.
Tyson now.
Yeah,
All right, so let's skip this
This
because
is Mike Tyson.
this is
Timmy Tyson. But the internet connection is shite. So let's get a couple of questions done, and
Yep.
hopefully it all works out. Kev, you're ready there?
Yep. Apart from, you were talking about Aaron Wilburn before. Apart from Aaron, who are your primary people that you look for inspiration? And he's gone.
Fuck it.
Or,
Fucking over it.
or
I'm out.
I
I'm out.
like Timmy's knives. I like Timmy's knives. Timmy's knives are great.
This is Timmy Tyson.
This is Timmy Tyson with the news. We got
All right,
great
I'll ask the
specials on all
questions.
sorts of builds.
Okay, so
funny.
I'll ask the questions and you answer as if you're Cole.
All right.
I don't think that's going to work, is it?
Nah, that's not going to work.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, he's back
Anyway,
again.
is he?
Back again. Yeah, look at that. Jeez.
Yeah.
We've still got listeners.
Here
I
he
can't
goes.
believe you stuck around.
Did you hear my question?
Would have bailed ages
Yeah,
ago.
About influences in terms of knife
Yes.
makers.
Yes.
Let's see, like the production knives that Bark River and Boosie do have been pretty influences in terms of my outdoor knives. But for other knife makers, I really like a lot of what Dan Keffler does, especially in terms of his.
In terms of his excellent design.
No, just stop. In terms of his,
His interest in metallurgy in terms of heat treatment and the materials he uses.
right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. But
Okay.
I can also hear Kaya. It's just
For
not
fuck's
getting any.
sake, Kaya.
It's just not getting any better. What an episode! This probably will never make it to the. Timmy will turn it into a 20-minute.
He'll turn it into something.
So, what's the best knife that you've made to date? Where can people go and have a look at it?
Well, it really depends on the intended application. I think in terms of the knife I've spent the most amount of time working on it would be this Bowie.
Oh, I've put up a share
Hang
screen.
on.
I'll just
Fucking hell, Goran.
yeah, I'm doing my best
no,
here, buddy.
If you scroll down, you can see it on Instagram. You can also see it in all 25 separate pieces on Instagram. But
All right, okay.
Oh,
So
yes.
I'll just start flicking through. Do I go this way?
Well, we can't see now, so you have to bloody.
Oh, right. Oh, I see that. Right, I'm on it.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
find it.
lovely.
I'll find it. I'm just sharing the screen and I'll get it up on Instagram. For those that are wondering, look up Cole_Barrett_BMT on Instagram.
Fuck.
Fuck what?
What happened with Mert just then?
Oh, fuck
We've
no.
had an accident.
What happened?
Quick, call an ambulance.
What's wrong?
He's having a stroke.
It's having
This
a
is
conniption.
this is the fucking connection to my microphone. I just broke it. What a fucking episode!
Don't
What a
worry,
pack of screw-ups.
you've never sounded
That's the name of
better.
this one. What a
You've never
pack
sounded
of screw-ups. Am I going back much further than this, Cole? Oh, is this it?
There it is there.
Am I
There it is
looking
there.
There it is there. Right. Happy days. So I'm pulling it up on the screen. Beautiful. Got a what's
Get
that
rid of
handle,
Tim's
Cole?
comment. Get rid of Timmy's comment for us.
Ah, bloody Timmy.
the handle on the Bowie,
Yeah.
Yes.
it was Alpha and Super Tusk, synthetic ivory.
What did you think of it?
8 out
Okay,
of
don't
10.
answer that, Chris. 8 out of 10. Oh, that's all right.
Oh, okay, that's all right. That's pretty highly rated.
8 out of
Really?
10. It's a bit softer than I would ideally like in an ivory substitute, but in terms of appearance, it's really good. Very easy to work too.
Hey, that's a good picture.
Cole, what do you have in your workshop, mate?
Sorry, can you say that again, Mert?
What do you use in your workshop? What kind of tools do you have in your workshop?
My primary tools are a Wilmot LB1000 grinder. I've had that for probably getting on 5 years now.
Yep.
I'll find a picture of his workshop because it's pretty epic. Here's his lathe for making rings.
Oh, that's one of
those
my
are
other
the-
favorite tools. A cordless, a
Plunge
variable
router.
speed router. Very
Yeah.
versatile.
So
I use that a lot with
Cole,
carbide burrs.
Cole puts a carbide burr on there and makes incredible stuff. Here he is on Instagram making a ring that you'd normally do on a lathe, and he's just smashing it out on a router. I mean, I don't even know people. I've never seen people do that before. So, yeah.
No, I had some very concerned comments on there. They're saying, "Isn't that dangerous?" Well, I don't know. Probably.
Probably.
I'll tell you,
Haven't
I've
lost a
still got
finger
my
yet.
fingers.
Fucking knife making is dangerous.
Yeah. We're not recommending anybody do that for legal reasons, just incidentally. But
Yes.
if you do it and it works for you, yeah, happy days. Like,
Also, we
whatever.
don't recommend jumping across small creeks holding children.
No.
Oh fuck you! Shouldn't have got that. Fucking dickhead.
Well, I haven't got a fuck you, Kev, out of you yet. I've got to try.
Well,
Don't make an
I'll
effort.
give you that. Fuck you, Kev. So, Corin, do you remember at the beginning of this episode, you asked how everybody was, and I said, I'm still sore.
Yes, we did.
So, yeah, this last weekend, we went to a beach, and there's a little creek right at the entrance of the beach, and you're going to beach to get wet, right? It's beach, there's sand. And as a sensible parent, my wife asked the kids to remove the shoes, and I said, no, I don't need to remove my shoes. And there's like a 6 foot, like almost 2 meter wide creek. I said, it's okay, I'll just jump. And I didn't just jump. I held my son. I fucking did full reenactment of the Die Hard. I took a little running start, and I had my little guy under my arm, and I jumped across the creek. It felt perfect. Like I felt my tiny hair still dancing in the wind, and I landed. I fucking sprained my ankle. And I let my son go, so I don't tumble with him. But as soon as I let him go, I realized I had no fucking hand to brace for impact, and I just fucking land on my ribs. So that's what this asshole Kev is referring about. I bruised my fucking ribs.
It's not the bruising of the ribs that was funny. It was the leading.
Bruising on my
up to the
fucking ego
bruising.
was.
Yeah, that's it. That's funny.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was about to say A to Z blades, A to Z, however you want to call it, 8Z. Tips on how to rust prevent before gluing a handle on. Buy some, or Cole would say, use high quality stainless. For those of us that don't use high quality stainless,
13% chromium. It's all you need.
buy some Ren wax. What Mert's showing there? Renaissance wax.
Will the epoxy still stick to that?
No, but
Under
you
the
just
handle?
No.
you put it on the areas that you're not going to put the glue on, and that'll protect the blade.
It shouldn't. Where it's glued, it really shouldn't rust. If the glue adheres properly, you get no air there. You shouldn't get rust. So
Yeah, so do it
That's
on the
interesting.
blade and leading
on
into
the
the
blade.
bolsters or into your guard, and then you'll be right. But yeah, Ren wax, or dry it and tape it up with tissue paper and tape. Leanne Calabro, possibly if it's open and we can travel, and it doesn't cost
You just gotta make
$5,000
sure-
to fly there.
You just gotta make sure he doesn't book classes during the same time.
Well, no, I won't be doing that, but I won't be driving there because you won't be able to get through any other borders. So it depends. It depends all on what happens in the next 6 months, 3 months, whatever it is with flights. But yes, I'd love to go there because I didn't get there this year, which was a real pain in the ass because I booked classes. And no, we would like to put it down to too many beers, but unfortunately, we are just Muppets.
no, too many beers. Yeah, no, we're just doing the best we can, guys. And it's not very
Yeah.
good. Like we know that, but you've got to piss with the dick you got. So no, going back to our special guest. Oh, he's gone. Fuck, Jesus Christ. Sorry.
My phone is dying, guys.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
Fuck it, I'm out. I'm over it.
That's long enough of us fucking around like idiots, isn't it? Timmy can edit in 10 minutes of Gamaco ads, for Christ's sake.
Oh, that's all right. Cole can edit in his answers. What we'll do, we'll just record the questions. Timmy sits next to Cole.
Bring up Andrew
office.
Smith's comment for a second.
The answers. Which one's Andrew
Guys,
Smith?
Actually, I have an idea, guys. Guys, I have a recommendation. How about we do this questionnaire? If you interview somebody, if we do this interview on one-on-one and edit to the podcast,
Maybe.
does it make sense?
Yeah, but then we miss out on all this bloody shit.
We can still do our like.
We'll sound like those other bloody podcasts, mate. We'll start sounding reasonably professional and half decent.
There you go, Michael. I know you.
Suncross Survival is going to make survival knife.
You can check out he's got a good YouTube channel. They invited him on Naked and Afraid one time, and he didn't go, I don't think. The same as my missus. I don't think his missus was too happy about it. I was thinking, it'll be pretty good, but well done. No mouse clicking sounds. God, everyone wants to pick on us tonight.
I know, especially Snapey.
Yeah, I put my
snarky.
computer. I got myself one of these mice. Look, it's got a cord, a little light.
Yeah.
It's down here now. Fuck yeah. Look, Mum, I'm on the podcast. Good on you, Timmy. But everyone's looking at me Facebook. Jesus. How do I get rid of that off?
Pull that shit down.
All right. Well, we did our best.
So, yeah. Look what a week off does for us. We end up just like we always are. Anyway, the goal is a little bit of light entertainment. We've got to give Cole credit for coming on. But like I said, where he's living, it's just not great for NBN, obviously.
And I think we've all had
his 33.3K modem can't handle it, as he's just put on.
Yeah, well, you used to get on them 56K dial-ups. Remember them? They were awesome.
Yeah.
They were the best.
Yeah, that was the pre-sound to pornography.
Yeah. Well, that was horrible. Thank you, everybody, for sticking with us. Thank you for hearing us out. Mert has promised us another lullaby, so do stick around for that. He did promise. He said that if he doesn't do a lullaby, he'll show us his nipple. So it's one or the other.
I want a lullaby. I want a lullaby. Give us a lullaby,
dude. Come on, man.
You already got my lullaby recorded. Just play that during the edit.
Tell us in the comments if you want to hear a lullaby from Mert. We just need critical mass in the comments, and he will do it. All right? He's a sucker for peer pressure. Nobody wants to. Oh, well, that's all right.
And we'll organise Cole to come on and do a bit of a technical podcast with us one other time where we can go into a bit more depth about the stainlesses that he so loves and uses and promotes and doesn't sell to the public because he brings them in and hoards them to himself. We'll bring him on and he can talk about that another time. Maybe during work hours when he gets better reception.
Yeah, or something. Come on, guys. Here come the lullabies. Come on, Mert.
Maybe when Timmy's tongue's stuck to some Sub-Zero steel again.
So let's have a lullaby to Metallica, Mert.
I will play a lullaby next week live. How about that? I'll play one next week.
That's man. Look at let it rip. Come on, look at this, man.
We've got Brad Stone's
like 100 comments.
Brad Stone's asking for nipple. There's one in every crowd. It's usually me.
I'm going to have to get a pre-recorded one for the weeks when he gets stage fright.
Yeah, when he gets
the other thing we used to do to get him to do it is we'd pretend that we had finished recording, right, until...
Well, you've blown that now.
So, see you later, guys. Oh, I'm not recording anymore. Oh, I've turned it off.
Motherfuckers.
All right, no worries. Lee Ann Calabro has got some words of wisdom for you there. And
no, that's the wrong one. I was seeing if I could find the one which we had as a recording.
I sent it to you, didn't I? You'll find it.
Yeah, and I can't remember where.
Enter Sandman.
That's all good. We
Well-
can.
Yeah, that's coming. The video of Tim with his tongue stuck to a knife. Not angry, I'm disappointed. Yeah, we're all disappointed in him. Sorry, guys. Did our best.
Well, thanks
Well
for your
done.
support, guys. For
Thank you,
listening
guys.
Can't say we didn't try.
more than a year.
We tried. Yeah, more than a
Yeah.
year. And
Yeah.
A year,
what,
over
this
a
is
year.
this was almost as crap as our first episode.
Well, we
We've
did it
gone
on
back.
purpose. We did it
Yeah,
on
yeah.
purpose as a retro.
It was a retro recording, Kev.
Yeah.
Retro.
It was.
Came along according to plan entirely.
Oh, no, because can you think back? Seriously, though, think back to the first episode that we put up and how many comments we got complaining about just how shit the sound was.
Can you guys fix the sound?
Fix the
Yeah,
sound,
well,
Can you
guys.
guys fix the sound?
I went back and listened to it, and it's shit. But we
Hang on,
didn't
just-
really.
Can
know.
I just get can I get a moment of your time?
Yeah.
Anyway, Mert, everyone's asking for a lullaby, dude, so we're going to hand it over to you. Mert, take it away.
Get in the bed, motherfuckers. It's time to sleep. Turn off the light, you fucking cunt. It's bedtime. Motherfucker! Sleep tight, you asshole. You're not thirsty. There are no demons underneath the bed. Just fucking sleep!
Oh.
Night.
Anyway,
Well,
Thanks,
Be careful what you wish for.
oh yeah.
there you go. There you go.
But
We've got a canned
listening to your lullaby, it just brought back so many memories of having a younger child. Yes.
All right.
Like,
So everybody that's had kids can relate to that because we've all sung that lullaby.
yes.
After,
Anthony Kittle, thank you for lying and trying to make us
Anthony
feel better.
reckons it's a great show. Excellent show. Look at
We,
that.
we appreciate having demented old people on here.
And Timmy wants your nip slip. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to end the broadcast. See you later.
See ya.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
And sorry, but we're not sorry.
Yeah, sorry, but not sorry.